But you hinted earlier about the political change making is not the only way you're trying to accomplish things. And off the top of my head, that tells me there's only two real ways outside the political system that you can make change. The first of those is protests, and protests don't do much of fucking anything as long as they follow the law. The only time a protest works is when you have critical mass and it becomes a threat to the status quo. That is the only time that it ever does anything besides spread the messaging.
Mhm.
The other one has to be labor organizing. So, are you going to be doing a heavy focus on labor organizing, or
The
is there
Labor Party.
is there something really obvious that I missed in that?
There is another way, and it's kind of involved. It kind of factors in both of those, but like protracted campaigns
Mhm.
towards things. So like, Green Bay Anti-War, which I am, on the executive committee for. We have a campaign to end Oshkosh Corp's funding of the IDF.
Right.
And so, you take small incremental steps of like, first we're going to do a write-in, and then we're going to escalate that to a petition and slowly build people's interest. And then, we're going to do a phone zap where we're going to call them. And then it gets to the point where we're going to do a protest. And then, so there are
And
kind of
the
targeted,
QR code.
yeah, and there are kind of targeted ways to do that.
That is a better thought out form of protest.
Yeah.
It still falls under the umbrella of protest. It has the same strengths and weaknesses.
I think that there's lots of ways to operate a political party outside of direct politics. I guess I really appreciate the notion of like everything is political, especially in this day and age.
Mhm.
So whether it's like electorally, maybe that's the way to think about it. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing to gain advantage electorally versus organize, right? And so again, a lot of what I think that we're going to be doing is the organizing component. So once you get a membership that's well organized, and again, folks that live in different networks, you can accomplish a lot of tasks pretty quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
So when it comes to things like labor organizing, which we haven't even touched on the representation of labor unions in the Wisconsin Labor Party, right? Because again, my passion is really in the community organizing aspect. So the union part of it, the labor organizing is pretty new to me, which is very funny as the Labor Party. But that's because again, it's all about class consciousness. It's all about understanding that we're all in this big old boat together, right? Yeah, that's right.
Like you were mentioning doing mutual aid. I think in our current conditions, like that is a phenomenal place to start building class consciousness. We've seen gas prices, and we have our own mutual aid network, in Green Bay that has helped out a lot of people, get cars, pay bills, put food on the table, so even something like that, is, I feel like, a great way to start building class consciousness.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Making sure that everyone in your community is fed isn't a political act,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why that's my passion, is because even if we make few electoral gains, especially initially,
Yeah.
the reality is that we're still working in our communities and things are still improving,
Mhm.
tangibly improving,
Yeah.
right? So operating through these community organizing groups and through mutual aid and stuff like that. And then you're developing relationships with people, and you're starting to demonstrate that, look, the people with the red shirts that say "fuck billionaires" on the back are there standing shoulder to shoulder with you.
Yes.
Right? Solidarity is a word, but it's also an action.
Yeah.
Right.
I like
So,
And the shirts do stand out. Like, people notice that. Like, red is a very distinct color. The white is something that even when it's like darker, you can see it pretty well. And so like, people look and go, "Oh yeah, I agree with that message."
yeah, the red shirts usually stick out in a crowd.
You hate sharing the color red with Republicans.
there can be some appeal with that,
For sure, it's something familiar, right? So, yeah, I think about that too when it comes to having conversations like this with Republicans.
Yeah.
I've had it before. Honestly,
How does that go usually? What is the reception like?
people get it depending on the language that you use,
Yeah,
right?
right.
When I was working landscaping, one of my bosses was a Republican, and we had this really great conversation. Me and him, and his wife, who also worked for the company, we were talking about how we just need money out of politics.
Yeah.
There are so many topics that we, across the political spectrum, again, if you look through the lens of class consciousness, it's like, oh, okay, this is a problem for the working class. It's a way to introduce class consciousness to people like that. You're never expecting people to be like, okay, where do I sign up in those situations?
Right.
But at the very least, having so many things that you can sit across the table and like have an agreement on opens up the door to lots of other potential things.
You're planting a seed.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's something that I've said before to people too when talking about, organizing is oppressed peoples of, whatever shape, size, color look and see that the people marching in the street with them is us, then they're going to be like, oh shit, like if workers that are unionized see somebody in a Labor Party shirt picketing with them, like they're going to be like, oh, maybe I should check that out. And so you kind of do get a lot of it just by kind of existing in that community.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's all about. We're here to build community and affect change however we can. Again, we've all talked about how disenfranchised we are, how we're looking for alternatives. A lot of us want a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And Outagamie County, that really seems to kind of be coming to a head. So I think we've got like 6 counties that we have chairs in right now. And again, they're primarily around Northeast Wisconsin. And one of them is Outagamie County. So the county chair there, Haley, put on our very first ever county, a county chapter member meeting.
Yeah.
And she said it was phenomenal. There was no problem finding a place to host. I think she said it was somewhere between like 20 and 30 people showed up.
That's a pretty good turn.
And it was like a potluck thing, so it was really like food needs to be part of every event.
I used to run a program at UW Green Bay called Bridging the Divide, and the entire I got a full scholarship for running this program, and the entire thing is you get people that don't agree on a topic at the same table together, you give them all food, and then you start asking neutral questions.
That's
like,
interesting.
what do you think? Now, what do you think about that? Your job is not to critique, your job is to make sure you understood. And like, there's something just fucking magical about sharing a meal with somebody, and it just, I don't know what it is.
I'll be honest,
it's something in the psyche.
I went to half of those meetings purely for the free pizza.
So they had this potluck, and like I said, like 20 to 30 people, and engagement, asking questions. Like, people are here to try to find find alternatives.
Yeah.
Haley went out and has been at events and meeting other organizers, and she went down to the thing yesterday down in Milwaukee. It was for the massacre.
The Bayview.
Yeah. I forget what they called the event, but yeah, it was to. Yeah, it was for the Bayview massacre.
I think they just said it was like the 139th annual Bayview massacre.
Yeah, I feel that.
I love it's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
the event, not the massacre.
Yes, just to be clear, the event was
hard opinion, hard right here. It's showing that people are. This is how they want to spend their time. Is getting the word out and getting the working class together. So it's really funny because when we were at the May Day event here in Green Bay, I had like 5 people come up to the table and were like, "Hey, is Haley here tonight?" Like up here in Green Bay, yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, we've got county chairs that are starting to operate and really, click in with the community and figure out what's needed.
And yeah, I mean, I think that we are, and I brought this up on our last show. I'm an optimist, so I always see things kind of through rose-colored glasses, but just with the amount of overstepping that has been done, not even just nationally, but locally, like the fact that, there have been 2 Outagamie and in Sturgeon Bay, I think they rescinded the flock, program. Yeah. And like, that's huge. And that's something that like people working together to do stuff like that, or even the data centers. Like there was, far leftists that were advocating against that. And there was regular working class people that this was the first time they had ever gone to a political event was because of the data centers. And so I think we are in a time where class consciousness can be formed.
Absolutely.
The fruit is really ripe right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of low-hanging fruit. And again, it's if it gets approached the right way, I think that we're at a huge, regardless, we're at a huge turning point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're here to try to create change non-violently, right? And there's lots of other escalations that can make things turn a different way, but I have got 2 kids. I would very much like to build a better future for them. It's really just a monument to the work that they're doing in Outagamie, the work that Haley is doing, and really Northeast Wisconsin is going to pop off, I think, with some really cool electoral changes. And a lot of times I just feel like the Wisconsin Labor Party is just riding the wave that no one is really talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
People are not dumb.
Right.
People can see the things in front of their faces and go, "This is unacceptable."
Yep.
The frustrating part is that there's no political alternative.
Yeah.
Which is why we just keep rinsing and repeating back and forth with
Right.
Republicans and Democrats, because there's no actual viable option.
So are you kind of riding the populism wave and just taking it in a different direction? As much as I despise everything about the man, it's not hard to understand why people voted for Trump. Joe Biden's decrepit ass up there saying everything is perfectly fine, and you have Trump saying, no, everything is not fine, you're suffering, and we're going to do something about it. And it's becoming pretty obvious that he meant exactly none of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a campaign that at least pays lip service to the idea that shit is not going great right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of room to capture the people that are rightfully pissed off that just picked the wrong horse to back.
Yeah.
Especially right now, because Republicans are doubling down on the Biden strategy now of because I've seen multiple town halls where Republicans get up there, and this one guy in particular, I don't remember what district he's from, but he got up there and they were like, prices are up everywhere, inflation's not down, like you keep insisting. And he's like, well, I don't understand where you're seeing that, because all the numbers show inflation is
Which is literally what the Dems were doing
It
under
is.
Biden.
It is
Is
exactly.
one of the first times I saw the Labor Party, and you had brought it up earlier, was on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you go live pretty frequently on TikTok as well. What has kind of been the reception on TikTok? Because you have people from all over, interacting on there. What's that been like?
It's been awesome, actually. I've gone live a handful of times. I don't know, like 4, 5, 6 times. And every single time I walk away with someone that was chatting on live for a good chunk of time, and then get their emails and get them connected to the party.
Oh,
so I mean,
that's awesome.
right there. And that is not an uncommon occurrence.
No.
Whether it's just like daily walking around, especially when I'm wearing the Fuck Billionaire shirt.
Yeah.
I've never once had someone come up to me and be like, I don't like that. No, everyone gets it.
Funny you say that, because I was we were live on Twitch on Sunday, and I was reacting to a Jubilee video, and they had a guy on there who said he was a pro-Zionist activist, and James said in the chat, he was like, that's like saying you're a pro-billionaire activist.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right from the outset, immediately turning everybody in the world against you.
I think that's really awesome that you're getting people involved through that, because that is something I'm sure we can all agree that social media isn't a great thing. Typically, it's one of those things that you have to be popping on social media to get any sort of traction nowadays.
Yeah, it's something that I don't put a ton of time into. Because I work for myself. I run my own business, and it gives me a lot of flexibility during the day to do stuff. So that's when I'll just like make TikTok videos or go live or whatever, because I'm actively working.
So one thing that I think is interesting too, especially being on the left, there's a lot of purity testing from other leftists and other orgs. And this is not something that I have an answer to, because even orgs that I'm a part of struggle with it. I feel like it is such a challenge for new parties, existing parties, to kind of walk that line, especially if you're trying to raise class consciousness, because on one hand, you don't want to appeal to culture war bullshit, but then at the same time, you can't let that slide. And so it's kind of like this weird line that you have to walk. Yeah. Do you have anything you do personally or strategies? Is it just a language thing, or
a lot of stuff when it comes to organizing just in general, and communicating with people is just expectation setting. So I think what's really helpful is to kind of figure out where, like, as a group, what are your red lines, right?
Right.
And let's see how that kind of matches up with what a lot of other people, I imagine the Wisconsin Labor Party at some point being an umbrella organization with a lot of these groups kind of
Yeah.
operating in caucuses, right? We're not going to be able to create the future that we want if we can't figure out how to work together.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Right?
a banger.
So what we need to do is figure out how to work together. Is everything a hill that you need to die on?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And not only that, but we also need to make sure that we have strong leaders in positions that can like help provide guidance
conflict
or like
resolution.
conflict resolution is so huge. It's seek first, understand, right, and set expectations. So asking instead of jumping down people's throats or immediately getting combative, asking clarifying questions first. Seek first to understand, get the answer, right? And just making sure that at least people's moral floor is just like treating each other with dignity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We can all build up from that foundation, but just as long as we understand that human beings.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Nazi.
A coalition's for everybody, unless you're a Nazi.
Yeah, Nazis are not allowed in the party.
You are in the early doors yet, and
literally,
what's been going good, and what have some unexpected challenges been?
The reception that I get when I talk to people at the Wisconsin Labor Party is by far the best thing about the work that I do. I talk for many minutes every single day about this stuff, and I'm thinking about it constantly. So that is, I guess that's also been a little bit of a surprise, especially because I just believe this lie my whole life that you're living in a bubble, and for some people that's true, right? But it's like, okay, well, you need to kind of like check how strongly you feel about certain things, or like making assumptions about where people stand on issues. After Trump 2.0, all of a sudden it's like everyone starts talking about it, and now there's no doubt, right? Where a lot of people stand, and that has allowed me to just have really fruitful conversations with people. One of the challenges is figuring out how a father of two that owns his own business and like a coaches soccer and all that stuff, like how do you get the work done?
Right.
And the answer is
delegate.
That's always the answer. The answer is delegation. It's building relationships with people and trusting your fellow comrades to be like, I don't need to have my fingers on everything all the time, right? That's not my role. It shouldn't be the it shouldn't be that of the people of the National Party. And that's exactly how it has been. It's like, I trust you to do these things, and I'm here to help support and give guidance as much as you trust me to do that. So it's delegation, and it's just community building and solidarity and all that stuff. So the biggest challenge is being in Door County and trying to run a statewide political party.
And I gotta say, I totally agree with the delegate. Like I led an organization at UWGB that I had started. And when I had started it, it was so hard for me not to just want to do everything, but it totally burned me out. And one of my older comrade friends was like, dude, like you gotta delegate. And then once I did that, I was like, this is completely different. Like I feel way better now.
We're about to wrap up here. Give me a 30-second pitch. Like, you only have 30 seconds to talk to me.
Hey, are you pissed off right now?
Yes.
How do you feel about your options politically? Do you feel like anyone's there listening to you? How do you feel about coming to like build a political party? You get a say. Party platform is set, but it's always up for revision. We're looking for people to be in their communities, working to help solve community issues with community resources, and then also to run up the chain of command and put Labor Party people in places of office up and down so that we can affect change politically as well. Not everything has to be political. Not everything has to be electoral gains. Solving issues in the community is first and foremost.
I like that. I like the asking questions a lot. It's like, I don't know if you've ever heard of like deep canvassing, but it's kind of like people will reveal their own inconsistencies in their logic when you ask ask them why they believe what they believe.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just somehow communicating that, hey, we are seeing the same stuff, right? And I know that the vast majority of people that I talk to are gonna say not happy with what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. We're trying to build an alternative, and guess what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if until I see some other group or come along and do it better and more effectively, then I'm gonna just continue to do this.
Yep.
And if someone does come along, that's like, great. Let's jump on and keep building power that way.
But would love to have you on again and hear more about, the development of the party going forward, and something that I know I'll at least be watching and trying to help out with when I can. We're all busy, but yeah, we all have kind of little calls to action at the end.
A call to action: if anyone's interested in learning more about the Labor Party, the Wisconsin Labor Party, you can first find Wisconsin Labor Party on socials. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to learn more about the National Party, there's a link in the bio, but it's votelabor.org. There's a link to sign up to be a member, and then if you indicate that you're from the state of Wisconsin, you'll get information from me. You'll also get sorted into your county chapter. So if you have a county chair, you will eventually hear from them as well. And the other call to action is just start talking to people. Whether it's about the Wisconsin Labor Party or not, but if we just start coming together, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Once we unify the working class and get everyone together, then it's game over.
I know we said outro, but real quick, because this is important. What if they don't have a county chair yet?
Oh yeah, if you don't have a county chair, that's one of the big pushes this year is I'm investing the majority of my time into building up membership and developing county chairs across the state. So we're doing meet and greets. We've done meet and greets in Northeast Wisconsin. We're doing meet and greets in Central Wisconsin. Coming up here, summer's going to get busy, so I don't really know what that's going to look like, but hopefully down in Madison and Milwaukee at some point. So that is all to say that we're building up membership and putting a ton of energy and resources into getting county chapters up and running. And
Awesome.
I'm happy to field questions from anyone. You can send me an email, wisconsin@votelabor.org. That'll also be down in the bio. So I'm here to talk with people, whether it's one-on-one or as a group. Doesn't matter to me.
Awesome. Very well put. And basically summed up what I always say: get active, get wise, get organized.
Remember, kids, read Das Kapital, look both ways before crossing the street, fuck Ronald Reagan, and if regular Joe asks to see your Yakuhudas, call 911 immediately.
Remember that the party of traditional family values created an economy where it takes 3 incomes to raise a child, and the Democrats did nothing to stop them. Thank you for watching Resistance Radio.